Okay, let us solve this question 212. So here we have a wad of clay A. What is the velocity in x direction and y direction? So it is v0 cosine theta, and it will be 9.1925. Because theta is 40 degree, v0 is 12. We will use our calculator. So sorry, I need to press C 2 times. 40 cos, so this is cosine of 40 times 12. It will be 9.19. Okay, so we find the v0 cosine theta in x direction and v0 sine theta in the y direction, which will be this. And we know that in the x direction there is no accelerations, so v0 a for a in the x direction, which is this, and we have the L, which is 6 meters. We will find T1. How long does it take from A to reach the point C? Okay, so, and for velocity of A at point C, VAX, as I said, is constant, 9.1925. And what about the velocity of A in the y directions? We will use the formula of v0y minus gt1, because positive y is this way up, and the acceleration of this point is in the opposite direction, so the ay will be minus g. So we have t1, which is 0.65, we have g 9.81, and we have va0 y, which is 7.7, this one. And we find va comma y. Why we call it comma y? It means that v of the object a in the y direction. We just use these notations. And velocity of v at point C. So the initial velocity of b was 0 minus gt1. T1, we have T1 because they will contact to each other at the same time. So T1 we use this time, and we have g, so we will obtain the velocity of b. Sorry, in the y directions, because in the x direction, obviously this one doesn't have any velocity. So now L is this. L tan theta is 5.03 blah blah blah. And how can we find BC? So BC is equal to actually minus, we have to put minus 1 over 2 gt squared. And if you consider this point as a I don't know, h, for example, EB is here, and the initial or y0 will be, sorry, BE is this one's, and the final one will be EC. I'm sorry for that. So EC minus BE, or it's better to say that BE minus EC. Let me write it down for you. is equal to BE minus EC is equal to BC. So this part here, it will be 0. Then we say that BC is equal to this term, okay? So we have the time, we have the G, we will find the BC. And what about CE? So we have BE and we find BC. It will be BE minus BC. We find the BE here and we have the BC here. Therefore, we have CE, which is 2.9, blah, blah, blah. Okay, now we will use the conservation of linear momentum in X and Y directions. So before contact and after contact, you can use this formula. So MA is 0.1, VAX is this 9.1, blah, blah, and VBX, it doesn't have any velocity in X direction, so this one will be 0. And here we use MA plus MB. Here some people put it MAB because it is one object, but if you don't like it, you can just use this formula. Okay. So 0.1 plus 0.2, okay? And you will find the velocity of these two items as a VA. I called it VAB, okay? Or you just put it VX if you like. And the same thing, we do this for Y directions. We have the velocity of A before contact in the Y directions, and velocity of B in the Y direction before contact again. And here we do the same thing for V. I call it VAB because most of them have the same velocity and in the Y direction. You will find VAB2, which is this number, minus blah, blah, blah. Okay, time for touch. So H is equal to, now we have one object. These two have a contact. Now we have one object. I will call it AB. It is better here to use the, I should use 1/2 or half minus GT squared. But I just, let me change it because some of you guys might forgot this in the exam. So A is negative because it is in the Y directions, is positive direction in this way, but gravitational force is this way, so it will be minus G. AY will be minus G, because you need to remember formula is half A T squared plus VABY. What about VABY? It is minus, okay? So we have to put here minus, and again here minus. And what about y0? Y0 is positive, which is this way. If you have to put it on the right hand side. And what about point D? The y is 0, okay? So the correct formula is this one, h, call it h. Then you will find the t. Now we have a equation that has two solutions. One of them is negative, one of them is positive. Definitely positive one is correct because time cannot be negative. We disregard the negative one and solve the D. Velocity of AB in x direction is constant. So we will find the velocity of ABX from here, and we will plug it in this formula. We have T from the previous part. Yeah, we will find D.